Good evening, YouTubers. It's me again. And now it's time for another Ultra Monster review. Now that I got Ultraman Taro out of the way, it's time for me to unveil the other half of my offer for my purchase for November. It is number 27, Tyrant from Ultraman Taro. As you can see here, this is number 27 in the current Ultra Monster series. 6-inch line. As you can see here, it's got Ultra Galaxy, Great Monster Battle, Never Ending Odyssey. So this is supposedly Never Ending Odyssey, but as you can see here, this Tyrant looks nothing like the one that Ultraman Chronos reviewed in his version of it back in like 2009. Because that was actually the 2008 mold, and this, rather, is the 1984 mold. As you can see here. Anyways, let's get on to detail about this. As you can see, this is the 1984 mold. So it does look a little simple and a bit show inaccurate due to the missing grappling hook and the fact that this claw here is supposed to be turned around. But yeah. But anyways, this Tyrant's little detail here includes this very dark greenish gunmetal paint here that's like green or something. Sort of a teal gunmetal gray or something. It goes from like the tail to the spiked back all the way to the head. And it also goes on his claw and spiked ball here. The arms and the undertail are unpainted, a Barabbas green. And his legs are this Red King gold, or something similar to Red King. Like, maybe it's like Red King from Ultraman 80 or something, but I don't know. And then there's Black King's feet. Let me just get out Black King for a second here. Yeah, their feet look somewhat the same. Although Tyrant doesn't have spiked toes on the back of his feet here. And as you can see here, this indeed is made in 1984. For some reason, I thought they'd be done using this and move on to the 2008 one, at least. But I digress. This is the 1984 one, still used as late as 2013. But yeah. Anyways, let's move on to sizing. I showed him just moments ago, and since Black King's also made in 1980, either it's 83, I think it's 83, I can't read them. Yeah, but this is another vintage mold. Maybe it's 88 or something. But yeah, they both go hand in hand, since this version of Black King only has 3 spikes as opposed to 4, and yeah. Black King's a bit taller than Tyrant. This is one that weirds me out the most about this guy. Tyrant is supposed to be a bit bigger than most other monsters, you know? But apparently because of this thing here, he's a bit smaller. What can you do? What can you do? Anyhow, that's it for a monster. Like, that's almost part of him. Other monsters include this one weird monster from Ultraman Ace called Hanzagiran, which is represented by the back spines here, along with the other Ultraman Ace monster, King Crab, and Barabbas for the arms. King Crab's tail there. And then there's mostly Return of Ultraman monsters such as Bemstar, Simons, and Sigoras, and Black King for the Simons and Sigoras for the face and horn, and Black King for this. Apparently, they say it's Black King because of this horn here that comes out the back of his head. It looks more straighter than the other one, and his feet, as I mentioned before. And then there's Bemstar's stomach area here, which absorbs all sorts of energy attacks. It's colored properly, but it does its job good. And then there's Black King's feet, and the unpainted tail bottom, as I mentioned before. So anyways, I just got over Tyrant's basic components of body structure. So anyways, let's get on to his articulation. Well, before we get that, forgot to scale him up with Ultraman Taro. This is especially where the scaling is absolutely... yes, it seems as though Tyrant has also inherited Choju disease from Barabbas and King Crab and Haganziron, because apparently he's about the same size as Vakshim in my collection right now. Look at how small he is. This is just, ugh. Like, Taro could just take one finger to him and, like, yeah, it's that small. But yeah. But anyways, let's get on to articulation. Stuttered enough. His arms go rotating 360, but you have to spread one of the arms out because most of this kibble here gets onto this neck kibble here. This one goes a little bit more smoothly since it's not as kibbled there. And his tail has a glue seal here, and I have not been able to break it yet. So I'm just going to leave it alone for now. But anyways, his legs sort of go 360. If you gotta spread this and try not to scuff the paint a bit. But yeah, just do the other side there. There. That's good. And that's it for detail, scaling, and size. I'm scaling and, well, articulation, yeah. And now let's move on to my next part. My personal history with trying to get a Tyrant. At first, I was trying to get a regular like a 2014-esque bigger version of Tyrant that was supposed to be the DX one from the current Ultra 500 series. It was a bit taller than this one and had more color accurate painting apps and a better molding, more fitting and accurate to the actual suits that Tyrant was in, especially with the grappling hook and the right side up hook there. And yeah, I was going to choose between getting this guy and another, and probably the same version of 2008 Tyrant Ultraman Chronos reviewed. But yeah. But anyways, I was going to get this because another YouTuber by the name of JerseyHilarity, shout out to that girl, by the way. Go watch her stuff. She has great reviews and stuff. She's a very good collector, and she knows her stuff. She recommended that I would get the DX Tyrant first instead of this guy, and I tried to, but apparently, and unfortunately, it was far too expensive for some reason, because the sellers in their infinite wisdom had decided to pay charging $24 to around $70 or $90 for the DX Tyrant, especially when it had unfinished painting on the tail here, and and no paint detail in the circles here. It was weird. Why would I want to pay over $24 to over $90 for some unfinished painted figure? Especially when I went on to Ami, and they apparently only charged $15 for this figure before it sold out. So my best guess is that a bunch of scalpers had bought most of the bulk from there and decided to sell this for more exorbitant prices, which I wouldn't be surprised in the least, since they would do anything to get a quick buck and without having to work for a sweat or whatnot. Yeah, that kind of disappointed me, so I kind of said, forget it, I'm just going to get this guy. It had some, because one, it's better than nothing, because it has some nostalgic value for those vintage vinyl lovers out there. And plus now, I have an equal of 3 modern molds and 3 vintage molds. The 3 of the modern molds I have are Ella King, Gamora, and Vakshim, while Zeton and Black King, get them out here real quick. I'll show them before. They are both vintage molds here, especially with 1983, 84 and probably 88 or 83. I have no idea. But anyways, they go good together. Zeton's the least of the... Zeton has more show accuracy than his others, aside from the short legs and whatnot. But yeah, they all look pretty good. These molds still stood the test of time. But I'm just pretty wishing that they would just retire this mold by now, this Tyrant guy. But other than that, that's my little story with this guy, and I am quite surprised that they had actually made this mold, kept using this mold as far as 2013. I think I showed that before, but whatever. But anyways, enough of the storytelling here. You can get this guy off of Amazon.com or eBay, hopefully for a better price. I would try to find this guy, try getting this guy for like $17 or $18 or $19 or something. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad in the least. I think and to me personally, why they still use this mold is because they wanted to make it look a little bit more child-friendly in terms of safety. Like, they don't want to poke the children's eyes out with this little grappling hook hand here, so they got that removed. And they don't want to have the children hacking them with this end of the thing, like heaven forbid. But yeah, I think they were... I do kind of get what they were trying to get here with this figure. They were trying to make it seem more children-friendly. But yeah, I'm rambling too much, aren't I? But anyways, I'll give this figure a 5 out of 5 because it's more interesting. It's a bit more interesting because I kind of like the figure. It may not look perfect, but it looks good to me in its own right because of how unique this Tyrant is more than the other ones. Especially with its interesting paint design. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have yourselves a good night.